pretty soon. Make sure you hit that like and share button if you're waiting. Drop some comments down below. We got some things we're going to talk about today that are going to change your perspective on the world, I hope. Hello, Patriots. Welcome to the Ryan Samuel Show. We are going to talk about some hot topics tonight. Things are really heating up in the UK for the good, for the benefit of the United Kingdom and its people. This show in particular has seen a massive following increase from the United Kingdom. The Reform Party is gaining some serious traction, and it needs to, as their cities and their communities are overrun with immigrants and illegal immigrants, I might add. And the police are literally kicking in people's doors and arresting them for posting memes because they created anxiety in somebody else and charging them. It's insane. It's utterly insane what is happening over in the United Kingdom. Also, interesting things have been released. The FBI has released that 275 undercover FBI agents were in the crowd at January 6th. That's a far cry from what we had heard previously, where it was like 25 informants. Now they're saying that there was actually 275 FBI informants, not informants, FBI agents undercover in the crowd January 6th. We're going to talk about that. It's going to be a great show. Do not go anywhere. Grab your popcorn. I know you're watching on your TVs. I can see the stats. There's like a couple of hundred people watching on X. YouTube's kind of low, but YouTube's always low. And then Rumble, looks like we got some people watching on TV too. So I appreciate everybody who chimes in. Stay here. Do not go anywhere. 45 seconds. Be right back.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Harsh to win, see you. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics. Follow on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, and all podcast platforms. Here is your host, Ryan Samuels.
Okay, so the UK is moving in a great direction, in a direction that the UK needs to move. Okay, they are under absolute oppression and tyranny in the United Kingdom. Even though I have been over there, I've been to London and Scotland and Ireland, and I've been all over there when I was in the military. And they're super liberal, right? When I was there, they hated us because, well, it was Iraq and Afghanistan. And our country misled their entire country into a war where they lost some of their people. So at the time, I didn't understand it. But as I got older and realized kind of the true story of what was going on, I could understand why they were not very friendly to the United States. But there is a gentleman. His name is Farage. And he's the candidate who's running for prime minister of the, what's it called? The Reform Party. Okay. So the Reform Party is kind of like the MAGA of the United Kingdom, right? For my British listeners. If I'm wrong, let me know. But from what I understand, it's kind of like the MAGA, right? They align themselves with Trump. They're all about free speech because they're being opposed. This is a picture of their parliament, okay? And it's color-coded. So the blue is the Reform Party, okay? And Farage is on course to be the next British Prime Minister. That's huge. That's a big move for the UK. And, you know, the American movement usually leads the way of the world. So as Joe Biden was just letting millions of illegal immigrants come in and just come in for no reason, without any screening, just wide open borders, the UK started doing the same thing, right? They started self-destructing themselves. Then Trump gets in, and now the UK is fighting back against it. The United States typically leads the world in politics, okay? But just so you can kind of get an idea of how bad it's gotten in the UK, here's a video of somebody walking in a once awesome neighborhood. And let's watch this.
This, believe it or not, used to be Rotherham. This is what Labour do to town centres. Load of copied shit. No one seems to care about them selling that.
It's just become like a Pakistan.
This is Labour's damage. Before Tony Blair, nothing like this. Since the Keir Starmer seems to have doubled as bad. Lucky to fucking hear an British accent on these streets.
They're saying you don't even hear a British accent on the streets anymore. Now, you think about Great Britain, and you think about the United Kingdom, and you think about just how much history they have. And all of that history and all of their culture is being washed away. And it's not being washed away like unintentionally. I mean, this is what they tried to do with the United States. This is the great replacement, right? The left calls it a massive conspiracy, but it turns out to be true. That the more immigrants that you let in, and you're the Democratic Party, and you're the ones allowing them in, and then you're the ones giving them free benefits, and then you're the ones fighting to get them citizenship and keeping them out of deportation and giving them Medicare, Medicaid, or whatever benefits, it turns out that those are the people that vote for you. So if you can move those people in, and then you can stack them in certain districts, and get votes for that certain district, then guess what? You're going to move up and stay in power pretty consistently. Here's a video of the British police trying to break into somebody's house. And this girl is an idiot. She's using a battering ram at the top of the door. First of all, when you use a battering ram, you're supposed to use it over the lock. Okay? You're supposed to use it next to where either the deadbolt is or the knob lock that goes into the door frame. You're supposed to hit it there, so when all the momentum goes there, it breaks the barrier. But she's hitting it up top of the door for whatever reason. Look, there's two chicks. This is humiliating.
I ain't getting through that door.
It's in and out the window. You pulled out the bathroom window. Yeah, it's not big one, is it? That's how we get to the...
Look at this. This is hilarious. And the neighbors are just watching them. They don't carry guns, which is mind-blowing to me.
Put through.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's usually
Look at this.
it's too bad.
Look at this idiot. It's still hitting the top of the door. And they're laughing. The girls are laughing because they can't get in. This is humiliating. And why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? That's the question. And I think it's a good question. And I think I might have some idea as to why they are doing this. And it could be because of a situation like this. Let's watch this.
No. The Hampshire police would realise how ridiculous this is. It is. Good. I'm happy to come to this.
What did it need to come to?
Tell us why you escalated it to this level. Because I don't understand. I posted something that he posted. You come to arrest me. You don't arrest him. Why has it come to this? Why am I in cuffs? Because there's something he shared, then I shared.
Because someone has been caused, obviously, anxiety based upon your social media page. That's
But not his.
why you've been arrested.
No.
Arrested for posting memes. Not even your meme, for sharing somebody else's meme. This is what's going on in the UK. So here's another police officer. Explaining why this person's getting arrested.
The time's 20 to 3, 14:40. I'm arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network.
What?
Improper use of the electronics communications network. That's the internet or your cell phone. That's what that is.
27 of the Communications Act, okay? So you do not have to say that may harm your defence if you don't mention one question, something which you later are in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
So I'm actually being
You're
arrested?
going to be arrested, okay?
Right.
Take you back to the police station.
Right.
Ask you, okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay?
Oh, really? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it?
Okay.
Right.
So we need...
Listen to me. This looks like a fake stage video because of how ridiculous it is and how insane it is. Okay? This is real. This is not a prank. This is not a joke. This is actually happening on a daily basis in the United Kingdom. For posting memes, you're going to jail. This is like a Democrat dream. This is like what Biden wanted. This is what Hillary Clinton actually achieved by putting in a Trump supporter who posted a meme where he went to jail for interfering in the election, which is outrageous. But this is they're removing people's liberty for their communication.
I need to ask you some questions about that.
Right.
Have you got anything in your pockets?
I've got my keys. I suppose it, I think, keys.
So anyone who's been arrested, we can search them under Section 32 of the Basic Criminal Act.
Right.
And that's for dangerous items.
I mean, you said I was going to be arrested under some what information? I'm going to be arrested for posting on Facebook.
Made some comments that are offensive, obscene, and people have made a complaint about that, and it's translated.
Can you tell me what this comment was?
Okay, well we'll do that when we interview.
All right. And so, what am I going to be locked up for the night, or?
Hopefully not.
Literally, that's for posting. For doing what you do on a daily basis in the United States of America and don't go to jail for. This is happening all day, every day in the United Kingdom. And it's insane. It's insane. And this, like, the United States needs to help them get free of this. Like, this is objective tyranny. That this is like Mussolini, this is Hitler, this is insane. That because you posted something on Facebook, you're going to jail? Let's watch this. Here's another one. Let's watch this.
Including those that were made this morning.
This morning, what made this morning?
And of my officers that have been round this evening.
Right, and
so I'm here to kindly ask that you remove said videos from social media.
No, I don't think I've broke the law, so I don't think I will.
And also, I want to advise you that you might well be committing offences under the Malicious Communications Act, okay?
Okay, well, I'm sure Dame Diana Johnson will explain that to me when she sees the video, won't she? She is a qualified barrister. She wasn't a director of social services, so she'll understand my case well. At this point, my son reported abuse. You failed to protect him. He was
remove the videos from social media.
Good night, officer.
And I'm advising you.
And I'm asking you to leave now, please.
Under the Malicious Communications Act.
Good night, officer.
Having said that, I'll leave you to it. Thank you.
Good night, officer. And may I ask, please do not come back to my house and disturb again.
We'll probably need to speak to you tomorrow.
I don't think you will. I haven't committed any offences, officer, so you needn't be speaking to me at any point.
You may well have done, I'm afraid.
No, I don't think I have. You came to my...
The problem is that she may have committed an offense. She may have actually committed a legitimate offense because in the United Kingdom they have this Communications Act. And if you bring anybody into anxiety because of what you posted online, yeah, you can go to jail. I think it's section 27. I'm going to try to pull it up. Yeah, this is it. The Communications Act of 2003. This is scary, is what this is. This is legislation.gov UK. You see it right here, right? So you know this isn't this is the actual website of the United Kingdom's government. Training and equality of opportunity. It shall be the duty of OCOM to take all steps as they consider appropriate for promoting the development of opportunities for the training and retraining of persons, blah, 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 blah. For employment by persons providing television and radio services for work in connection with the provisions of such services, otherwise than as an employee, it shall be the duty of OCOM to take all such steps as they consider appropriate for promoting equal or opportunity in relation to both employment. It should be the duty of OCOM to, in relation to such employment, training, I think is it 127? Let's look this up. Let's look at 127. Section 127. Yeah, sorry. Improper use of electronic communications network. That's the internet. Improper use of the internet. A person is guilty of an offense if he sends by means of a public electronic communications network a message or other matter that is grossly offensive or of an incident, obscene or menacing character, or causes any such message or matter to be sent. A person is guilty of an offense if, for the purpose of causing annoyance, inconvenience, or needless anxiety to another. Anxiety to another because of what you posted. So if you post in the UK and you say, hey, I think abortion's murder, you can go to jail because that could cause anxiety in somebody. Or the flip side, if you say, I think abortion should be allowed up until the day of delivery, that could cause anxiety. So there's essentially no political free speech in the UK if it's on the internet. A person is guilty of an offense for the purpose of causing annoyance, inconvenience, or needless anxiety to another. Sends by means of a public electronic communications network a message that he knows to be false. Oh, fake news. Right to jail. Causes such a message to be sent or persistently makes use of a public electronic communications network. A person is guilty of an offense under this section shall be liable on summary conviction to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months or to a fine not exceeding level 5 on their standard scale or both. 6 months in jail for posting a meme. Do not apply to anything done in the course of providing program service, and an information or complaint relating to an offense under this section may be tried by the magistrate's court in England or in Wales or Northern Ireland if it's later made. Northern Ireland, it should be given back to the Irish. Before the end of the period of the 3 years beginning with the day on which the offense was committed and before the end of the period. So, summary of the proceedings before the end of the period of 3 years beginning of the day. So, there's a 3-year statute of limitations. Imagine a law was passed to put you in jail for posting memes. That's why this is blowing up. This Reform Party is blowing up because of these situations. The immigration situation is completely out of control. And this is something that's happening in England. There's this huge movement that's coming up. Okay. And I know we're not really talking about this a lot or appropriately in the States, but it's important. It's important because they're going through a very hard time and learning some very valuable lessons that we were very close to learning. The left wants to control the internet. They've been crystal clear about that the internet should be regulated, that it should have fact checkers or false news. And if we didn't have the Bill of Rights, they would have went as far as putting you in jail for it. Don't get that twisted. Don't get that twisted. But so basically, news outlets, you can go to jail. If you're a news outlet and you try to report something that's offensive to everybody or share a meme that's offensive to everybody, you can go to jail for that. Here is a reporter at the LBC. He's talking about the Reforming Party, right? And some guy calls in and talks about he's a member of the Reforming Party, and basically he's an illegal immigrant, and now he's no longer supporting the Reforming Party because, you know, they're just going to deport people. And he's against that, thinks that there should be open borders. Let's listen to this.
I was someone who's been leaning towards reform in recent weeks, as I'm completely and utterly fed up of the status quo in UK politics at the moment. But boy, has he let us down, not only just today, but throughout the last week with his ideas on removing people with ILR, on his conspiracy theories, today on Nick Farage's show. I think him going to Congress and literally spouting us off as being the worst of the worst, you know, I think that was a betrayal of the country of the highest caliber. And I think, Ben, you know, at the UK at the moment, we've got a real crisis in our hand.
But you were saying a few minutes ago, Mohammed, that until today, you were pretty tempted to vote for him. I totally get the appeal. But it's not just the party and the policies, Mohammed, is it? People have got to ask, is this the person that I want to be representing me and all of us on the world stage? Is this the person I want to have the nuclear codes and be responsible for dealing with the crisis in the middle of the night? somebody who, would rather claim that paracetamol might be dangerous than say a bad word about Donald Trump. Somebody who comes on, sits in this very studio and claims that asylum seekers are killing Britain's swans. I mean, honestly,
they are.
It's a comedy act.
They are. Okay. So like I said, the Brits are very left. A lot of them. And Farage did come on this show in the LBC, and I have the clip. Let's just watch the clip, and we'll talk about it from there. I don't want to misconstrue what was said.
Good morning, Mr. Farage. Hope you're doing well. My question pertains to free speech. So, look, you frame yourself as an ally of President Trump, and recently in the US Congress you compared the Starmer government to, being adjacent to North Korea. But considering recent events in the US, let's say Jimmy Kimmel, people being deported if they're critical of US foreign policy, and even me, I was interviewed at the border when I landed in Chicago on my feelings on the Trump administration. Would you still claim that this is a fair
He was interviewed, at customs when you came with your passport.
Comparison to make when you compare the two countries, rather?
Do you know, I went, as you know, I went to the House Judicial Committee a few weeks ago, and I was being grilled for 3 hours on free speech and what was happening. I'll give you my position, Emmy, very, very clearly. I thought what Bob Villan said about the death of my friend Charlie Kirk was absolutely vile. But I wouldn't ban it. I wouldn't have him arrested. I wouldn't have him deported, because he wasn't inciting violence. He was just giving...
I think he's British-born as well, isn't he?
No, but he was giving a view... He was giving a view that I thought was pretty repulsive, but I think he should be allowed to do it. And I think there is a danger, Emmy, there is a danger. I mean, obviously people are mortified about what happened to Charlie, but there is a danger that the Republicans go over the top in pushing back against this. So we need to remember there are limits to free speech. We know what they are. Shouting fire in a crowded theatre, the classic one back from the 19th century, inciting violence.
See, notice how much they're influenced by the United States politics. He's quoting a Supreme Court ruling from the United States and using that to argue for the limitations of free speech, which we've gone over this a million times. There really is no limitations for free speech. Very few. Let's listen.
Outside of that, they're going to have to get used to things being said that they don't like.
Well, can I put to you then, you are a supporter, and I hear that you say you shouldn't always take what Trump says literally, but you should just... But was he right to effectively try and force a broadcaster off air in the case of Jimmy Kimmel?
Whether he had any influence on that, I don't know. But look, I just would say... I would say... No. I am saying the Republicans need to be careful.
Well, do you not think Donald Trump needs to be careful?
Otherwise, they're going to be guilty of the very thing they accuse the other side of. So, I mean, and I get the emotions.
Yes, of course.
Immediately after Charlie Kirk.
Of course.
But cool reflection is needed on this.
But lastly, the President of the United States engaging in a war of words over a TV presenter.
Oh, that's him.
Is it not demeaning?
That's him. That's him. That's
why? Why does he...
He's a TV presenter himself.
That's not a bad answer.
But the Farage, the guy who's talking about free speech, and the Republicans need to be careful, and I say that all the time. I say that all the time here, and he's right. He is the guy, UK, who's going to fix this problem of the police kicking in your doors to arrest you for posting on the internet. That's it. You're just posting on the internet. But it appears as if Farage is really, he's on the way. He's on the way, and it's a similar parallel conversation or situation that happened with the United States, and it's unique how it happens in the world that way. But here is a poll from Sky News about Farage running as the Prime Minister of Britain.
This is massive news for Nigel Farage. Sky News can reveal the latest polling projection from YouGov And here it is. Reform UK would be the largest party in a hung parliament, just shy of an overall majority. Let's look at how politics has changed in just a matter of months. This is last July's general election. You can see dark blue Tories, lots of red for Labour, almost no light blue. But over the last few months, my goodness, how it's changed. This is what the projection would be now. Look at all of the Reform UK seats that they would pick up.
That's a direct result of the current government attacking their free speech.
With the Tories really pushed into their heartland. Also, Labour reduced to just most of their seats, third of their seats in London. Let's look at what the House of Commons would look like under this projection. Reform UK, the largest party, 311 seats. That's up 306 at the expense of the Tories. Kemi Badenoch's party, she loses 2/3 of her seats down to just 45. And what about the Prime Minister, the Labour Party? Well, he also loses 2/3 of his seats. 144 Labour MPs would be left. Now, let's look at the faces that would disappear, and here they are. Yvette Cooper, gone. Wes Streeting, Ed Miliband, Bridget Phillipson, Lisa Nandy, and Angela Rayner, all gone from the Labour Party.
Good.
And as for the Tories, well, look, some of the biggest beasts there. Mel Stride, Robert Jenrick,
Goodbye.
Patel, James Cleverly as well. You can see that if this polling projection is right, and we're a long way from a general election, two-party politics could be gone for good.
Good. Because a United Kingdom conservative is not an American conservative. It's very different. They have more than one party there. It's completely just different. It's a different form of government. Okay? But the British government is out of control. Okay? They're talking. Here's the other thing they're trying to do. On top of arresting you for speaking your mind on the internet, they want to make sure that everybody has a forced digital ID.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes, looking upstream to tackle poverty, conflict. And that
Government has no business tackling poverty. No business, quote unquote, tackling poverty. We're tackling poverty. Shut up. It's not your business. It's not your business to go anywhere near poverty. But we're going to follow that. We're going to see where the UK takes this, because it's super important for the rest of the world to follow too. And in other news, we had a revelation come out about January 6th, and that there were 275 agents in the crowd, FBI agents, just in the crowd. We've seen coverages of this for years. It's been like 5 years. All right, and it's all been thwarted. It's all been. We've been lied to. It's been exaggerated. Let's watch this clip. Just some highlights of how they've presented January 6th.
So we're going to see some of what our witnesses saw on January 6th. Let's see the video, please. But please be advised that it contains graphic images and strong language, which many may find disturbing.
What is that? So Peter Navarro releases 36-page report alleging election fraud more than sufficient to swing victory to Trump. A great report by Peter. Statistically impossible to have lost the 2020 election. Big protests in D.C. on January 6th. Be there. Will be wild. They highlighted that tweet.
Hey, brother, we're boots on the ground here. We're moving on to Capitol now. I'll give you a boots on the ground update here in a few.
Multiple capital entries. Multiple capital entries.
So there's a couple of things, and we're going to kind of look at them. So this is Ray Epps, right? This is the big question about Ray Epps and who was Ray Epps. Was Ray Epps an FBI informant? Was he an agent? He had a wanted picture, and then all of a sudden it went away. He's the one running around telling everybody to go into the Capitol. But now that we know there's 275 actual agents in the crowd there, are all 275 of them inciting riots? Are they running around encouraging people to do things? Or are they the ones who initially started breaking in and then telling everybody to go into the Capitol? Is that what happened? That's the question. And I think we're going to find out more about that, I hope.
We're still taking metal, sharpened objects, missiles to include bottles and rocks, and hand-thrown chemical-grade fireworks.
This is just how it's portrayed to us.
This is now effectively a riot.
1349 hours declaring it a riot.
Okay, guys. Apparently, this tip of the spear has entered the Capitol building.
The tip of the spear. These are people running away. They highlighted a Confederate flag like it's anything, like it's super suspicious.
If I give this up, they're going to have to run back to at least this Capitol we can defend. We got to hold what we have. Take your pins off.
Yeah. The fuck?
Take your pins off.
I noticed they're not hitting any police officers. How many of these guys are FBI agents?
Where the fuck are they? Cruiser 50 has blanked. 1033. I repeat, 1033 was from the Capitol. We have been blanked and we've lost the line.
You've been flanked. That's CS gas. Now, they're saying they're spraying gas. Where did these January 6th people who showed up with no guns get gas from?
Jimmy, get him to the back. Get him to the back. Get him to the back. Let's get some fresh faces up front.
This kind of reminds me of a situation I saw where a bunch of undercover cops were buying cocaine from a bunch of other undercover cops. It was just this entire situation they created for themselves. That's kind of what January 6th reminds me of now.
They've got the gallows set upside this Capitol building. It's time to start fucking using them.
Who, like, it's time to start using them. Like, this guy. So listen to this. Is some guy that apparently on these little clips where it's just the lyrics. It's supposed to be like a January 6er, like the general giving commands.
They've got the gallows set upside this Capitol building. It's time to start fucking using them.
That rope wouldn't hold anybody.
Put all those names down, and we start hunting them down one by one.
Is that a Fed? Where are all the FBI agents?
Your own counties, storm your own Capitol buildings, and take down every one of these corrupt motherfuckers. So we fucking need to have 30,000 guns up there. That's true.
But there are no guns. The biggest group of people in the United States who own guns did not bring guns to the biggest insurrection in American history. So there was that's the MSNBC clip, right? But here's a real clip. Okay? Here's a bunch of January 6ers dressed up as Antifa, right? Who got arrested. And then he gets them to the side and tells them, hey, dude, we're cops. We're undercover cops. And then he uncuffs them. He's uncuffing them. He's like, yeah, dude, we need to get back out there, man. We're freaking cops. Yep. Hey, bro. Yeah, dude. Thanks. We need to get back out there and riot some more. They're just cuffing these people. Then they're like, hey, we're FBI agents or we're whatever. We're Capitol Police. Let us back out there so we can get arrested again. So I mean, yeah. I mean, but how many of them were doing that? And then they turn around and arrest grandma because she came in after the fact. Here is a thing that was leaked from the FBI. I'm concerned that organizationally we do not learn or implement any changes from a response this summer, the BLM/threat to the monuments. We were again put out on 1/6 with no clear mission into a crowd control situation without appropriate gear or training. Agents repeatedly asked what we were doing and how were we to respond. There was no significant guidance, but beyond use your judgment. We were told we were not to be on the front line, but to be behind the police line in a support role. However, we were then deployed on the flank of the police line with direct contact with the protesters. While we were not confronting the thick of the crowd, we did attract small groups of disgruntled protesters and were lucky those did not escalate matters or that others did not join them. It could easily have gone badly. This was aggravated by several pods of 2 to 3 agents that would either be behind our position or took it up themselves to wander 30 to 50 yards ahead into positions where they have been cut off and isolated. It was poor judgment, but we cannot ignore that it highlights a lack of training of how to work crowds. I mean, that's basic police knowledge that you should know. But some of this stuff is just like these videos are super suspicious. Some videos from January 6th are just completely very suspicious. And you guys know I'm very skeptical about things. The government is incompetent. They're not sophisticated enough to pull this off intentionally. But here's one thing that cops do. They want to arrest you, right? That's like their job. Their job is to arrest you. Their job is not to be your friend. They want to put you in jail. So what you see a lot of encouragement to do crimes, like as undercover officers. Like an undercover narcotics officer is like, hey, this dude has sold me a nickel bag of weed or a gram of cocaine. And then they have a meeting and they're like, yeah, we can arrest him for that. But let's try to if we can get you to buy like 4 more, then that increases it to a level 1 felony. So let's do that. Let's convince him to do that. And then the guy's like, I can't get my mind on that much. And then the cop talks him into it, which is entrapment, but does it anyway. That stuff happens all the time because they want to increase your levels and they want to layer more crimes on you. And then they'll ask you like, hey, yeah, not only do I need cocaine, I want to buy a gun. And then the guy, because he was asked, brings the gun and cocaine. And it's like, oh, that's armed possession. It's a heightened felony. But this video is pretty suspicious. And like I said, they want to arrest you for crime. So now they're like, well, let's see if maybe we could get them in the building. If we can get them to break into the building, we could add these many charges on them. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just trying to speculate as if there was 275 agents. I mean, that is so many people. 275 federal agents is a lot of people undercover in the crowds on January 6th. It's a lot of people. And not to mention the whole skepticism with January 6th from the conservative side is that this is not how conservatives act. Typically, the conservatives never riot. They never do this. So the question is there, like, what made January 6th any different? Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck. We didn't burn down cities. We got together for prayer and memorials. So why was January 6th so different? And that's why everybody's searching for that answer. Is that answer because there was 275 agents in the crowd inciting violence and convincing people to do things, and the people that tried to stop them were intimidated into stopping them? And that's where we come to this video. Let's watch this. So here's this guy. Totally looks like a Fed. Got a mask on. He's got like a backpack, camelback, tactical pants. This guy, who does not look like a cop at all. He looks like your normal God-fearing American patriot who's just there to protest, steps in to stop him from breaking into the building.
Do not go in there.
Yelling, do not go in there. More of them step up to stop this guy who clearly looks like he is in shape like a federal or a police officer would be, hiding his face. These other guys are not hiding their face. And then he shoves him. He's also got a radio on. See that? There's a radio on his chest. And he's trying to stop them from going in the building. And he doesn't want to deal with it.
A radio journalist from Michigan was shooting video that day at the Capitol. What he captured were 2, most charitably called suspicious actors, but they are dressed in such a way that led him to believe that they were government agents. And one of them, after the windows had been broken by a protester, it was encouraging people to pull the rest of the glass out and go inside. Bobby Powell, who was the journalist that had shot it, and he has his camera rolling, he told him that would be illegal. And that wouldn't be a good idea. He warned people off not to go into that window. And then he turned his camera around and he caught this agent or suspicious actor pulling a large pane of glass out, this tempered glass. It kind of folds into itself, crunch onto the ground. When he realized he was being filmed, he quickly dropped it. It seems apparent on the video that he did not want to be seen doing what he just did. So he pulled in a protester and started blaming him. He said, "What are you doing breaking that window?" The poor fellow that was being accused didn't know what was going on. And then he gave him a couple of really good shoves and cocked his arm like he was going to punch him. We don't know.
So he was blaming him for breaking the window. That's even worse.
His facial image is not on any of the Sedition Hunters sites or the FBI's most wanted site. But he clearly was committing criminal damage to property, and he has not been charged. So it, again, it raises a question of why.
Also, the individual trying to, again, opening the window up is even encouraging people to enter, I believe, as well?
Yes.
What's he saying?
Well, he said, "Why don't y'all open the rest of it up?"
Why don't you guys open up the rest of it?
Huh.
Because I think that probably be illegal. Oh, I know my glasses.
It's suspicious. And I'm not saying that it's true. I'm really not. What I'm saying is that it's suspicious. It's suspicious that also on that same day, Nancy Pelosi was there. And her daughter was there filming a documentary. That's suspicious to me. Another thing that's suspicious is that at that time, the FBI was clearly working for the Democrats. I mean, they suppressed Hunter Biden's laptop. The FBI was going after social media agencies to silence conservative speech, take down everybody's channel. That's suspicious. Now we find out, because, Christopher Wray wouldn't tell us, that there was 275 FBI agents there. 275. And we have videos of a suspected agent or Fed or anything breaking the window and pulling the window out and then trying to get people to go in. So is that what happened? Considering that the Republicans do not have that sort of behavior typically. It's typically different. And then immediately after, the Democrats or AOC is talking about they were going to rape me. Like, dude, you look like a donkey. You look like a donkey. Like, look at you. Your body, your shoulders are all off. You're gross, dude. And your personality is terrible. But here's her capitalizing on this incident.
I didn't think that I was just going to be killed. I thought other things were going to happen to me as well.
So what sounds like what you're telling me right now is that you didn't only think that you were going to die, you thought you were going to be raped.
Yeah, I thought I was.
And that you now understand, having thought about it, is because of your experience.
Yeah, I think so.
That's just complete narcissism. That's complete narcissism. Like, nobody cares about you that much. Nobody's looking at you that much. Nobody thinks I'm going to lose my entire life to break in there to rape AOC. I mean, but those are the Democrats. So it does raise questions. But here's the flip side of that coin. The flip side of that coin is that if there was evidence to suggest right now that it was some planned, concerted act to kind of rile up Republicans and get them in there and show their ass, we would know about it because we got Kash Patel and Dan Bongino at the FBI, who, if they had it and everything wasn't deleted and burned, right, they would release it. The problem is that January 6th is always going to be, hey, Kat, how are you? Welcome. AOC wasn't even there. Correct. January 6th is always going to be a scar on the Republican Party. It just is. No matter how you slice it, no matter what you want to say, there were Republicans, conservatives, who were not FBI agents, who were not cops, who were not undercover incitement, conspiracy theories, doing things they should not have been doing. That's a period. Okay? there's a thing called mob rule, and that when you're in a mob of people and you know that you individually are not going to be persecuted for what you do, you tend to do it more. And I learned that through my police training and then my Marine Corps riot control training that I had to do before I went on a MU. That the crowd is going to escalate. So that's why you have to set an example. So typically in a crowd like that, there's an agitator, right? Somebody who's yelling, we need to do this, we need to do that, like a Ray-ups. We need to go in there and go into the Capitol. You're getting that guy, you're locking him up, and you're putting him out of there. Because, number one, everybody's looking at him, right? Everybody's focused on him because he's out there. He's the center of attention. He's this agitator. He's building everybody up. You yoke him up. You throw him in cuffs. You show everybody around there is repercussions for your actions and that you will go to jail too. Number one, you get rid of the person agitating the crowd. And number two, you show everybody else around him that there's consequences. And typically, things don't get out of control. So you arrest the agitator. It doesn't look like they did that here, but it doesn't look like or sound like any of them had any riot control training other than the riot people in the one hallway in the Capitol building. But it's going to forever be there. It will forever be there. And I'm glad that a lot of the January 6ers that were persecuted wrongly have been freed and pardoned, because that needed to happen. But the people who were there doing things wrong, they need to be persecuted to make sure that we live in a free and just and safe society, that nobody's above the law in a real way, not in a politically motivated way. But the UK, man, I love you guys. I really appreciate you guys following the show. There's an army of you. I see you. I hear you. I want to help you guys be free of this. It looks like the Reform Party is the way to go. You guys need to get out there and hit the streets and get people to vote and get Farage in as Prime Minister. Take over the Parliament or the House of Commons and freaking let's go, dude. Repeal the Communications Act or whatever the heck they're using to stop you from doing memes, and then friggin' shut it down. Get back to free speech. Get rid of all these illegal immigrants that are ruining your cities and destroying your towns and freaking killing people and raping 12-year-old girls, because that stuff's happening everywhere, and taking swans out of the lake and eating them and then turning around and telling people that that's not true. It's the same thing that was happening in the United States that's now happening in Great Britain. And the January 6th are 275 agents. We knew it. We knew there were more there than the 25 informants they said. That's just agents. You think about how many informants they had there. A lot more than 275, I could tell you that. Probably just a giant crowd of FBI agents fighting Capitol Police. But that's all for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this show every night. I see you guys. I love you guys. My family's grateful for you. Make sure you visit the shop at ryanfsamuels.com/shop. Got some really great merch on there. You could always donate to the show at ryanfsamuels.com/donate. And make sure that you follow. We're live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in on anywhere. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, X, just anywhere, and on the podcast, man. If you guys, I know a lot of you guys pop in and pop out. You stay for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you go on to what you're doing. Make sure you go to the podcast, because then you can just listen to the show while you're working out, or you're going to the gym, or you're driving. If you got a half an hour drive to work, listen to it on the way there, listen to it on the way home. We try to do a couple of things on this show. We try to be as accurate as possible and provide fair and balanced information, okay? And stick to the true American principles of free speech, gun rights, the right to life, even for unborn children, and true Judeo-Christian American values, and to keep our society on that track, no matter who's president, okay? I'm critical of anybody in power because I think power is the root of all evil, not money. I think the love of money is what the Bible says, not money itself. But thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and we will be back on Monday. Do not miss the show. Visit RyanFSamuels.com for a ton more stuff.
Thanks for tuning in to The Ryan Samuels Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.